2 minutes.
Will my breakfast bother you later?
Yeah.
And I won't even eat it.
Answer your phone now, Katie. Good morning. Let me see where my script is. This one. Okay, are we on? All right, good morning. I'd like to call to order the Pasco County Board of County Commission 9 a.m. meeting of August 24th, 2022. At this time, please silence all your electronic devices and mute your microphones if you're at home. Let's rise for the invocation and the pledge.
O merciful Creator, your hand is open wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful for your loving providence and grant that we, remembering the accounting that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could you please call the roll?
I will. District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Here.
District 2, Commissioner Moore.
Here.
District 4, Commissioner Fitzpatrick is absent at this moment. District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Here.
And District 3, Chairman Starkey.
I'm here. Oop, sorry. I was trying to find my phone, and I guess it is hidden in my purse. All right. So we are not doing public comment this morning. Is that correct?
That will be at 10.
These are both public hearing items, so that generalized public comment would be taken at 10 o'clock.
Okay. So I don't know why it's on there then. Okay, well, this is my first time doing this, and I'm not sure this is correct here. So we're going to take up P1.
P1, we have proof of publication of the hearing of this matter in the Tampa Bay Times edition of July 22nd, 2022.
Okay.
Morning, Justin Grant, Director of Public Infrastructure, Fiscal and Business Administration. This item is PIPA 220443, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, establishing a final equivalent residential unit and the final ad valorem assessment rate, and adopting the final non-ad valorem assessment roll for the Highlands Municipal Service Benefit Unit, also known as an MSBU, for roadway maintenance, providing for an effective date. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment, and would the board like a presentation on this item?
We have multiples signed up for both in-room presentation as well as 2 scheduled online.
For P1?
Okay, so is anyone here for P1, which
I'm
is
sorry, P2.
the
I
Highlands
apologize.
Municipal Service Beneficial Unit? Okay, seeing no one, I would accept a motion.
Anyone, no one online either?
Move approval.
Wait, let me double check. Is
anyone
there anyone online for P1?
At this time, we do not have anyone online.
I'd like to say, this is something that the staff has done a phenomenal job with bringing this thing forward. The way they structured it all, with no public comment, shows that you're doing a great job with it. I'll move approval.
Okay, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right, P2.
We have proof of publication of the hearing of this matter for the Oak Park Municipal Service Benefit Unit in the July 27th edition 2022 of the Tampa Bay Times.
Good morning, Keith Wiley, Director of Parks, Recreation, Natural Resources Department. I am here to present a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, establishing the final annual non-ad valorem special assessment and adopting the non-ad valorem assessment roll for Oaks Park Municipal Service Benefit Unit for the repayment to the county's general fund for the land acquisition costs and ongoing maintenance costs, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Well, we have a lot of people here, so I'm thinking maybe you need to go through your presentation.
Absolutely.
Okay, just as a reminder to everyone. Thank you.
Okay. So just a little history.
We need to be quiet back there, please. Thank you.
Just a little history. This actual MSBU was established back in 2014. The ordinance number is 14-10. Around September of last year, PRNR made an opportunity to meet with as many of the HOA presidents as possible to educate the community on what the direction was going to be for the MSBU. Last fall, we also executed the tax collectors agreement, which really kind of got us to this point. Just again, as a reminder, the MSBU will reimburse the county's general fund for the land acquisition costs at an interest rate of 0.05% over a 15-year term. The first year of the assessment, the cost to each individual unit will be approximately $164.80, which includes a one-time cleanup cost of $50,000. There's been some dumping and things like that that's occurred since the establishment of the MSBU back in 2014. After 2 years, the assessment through 2 years will drop down to $135.56. That obviously is removing the additional $50,000. Then in year 16 and each year after that, the assessment will be $18.13 per unit based on the annual maintenance and overhead costs of approximately $31,000 per year. This is a map showing the actual boundaries of the MSBU. It was established back in 2014 underneath the premise of the benefit reaching about a half mile, which includes everything outlined in black. Staff recommends the approval of the resolution presented in front of you today. I'm here
Okay.
for any questions, and obviously we have a full room
Yes.
of public comment.
Board members, any questions before we take public comment?
I'd rather listen to the public first.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're here to speak on this item, please, well, we have a sign-up list, don't we?
Yes.
All right, so we'll go through our list.
John Russell.
So please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Motion to receive.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
My name is John Russell. I live at 9652 Cavendish Court, which is in the Heritage Lakes community. Our personal property is right on the border with the Oaks Park, the north side. My purpose here today is to strongly disagree with the $50,000 charge for clearing the Oaks Park property. The accumulated trash and debris on subject property was not placed there by anyone from Heritage Lake Village, and I doubt that it's possible to determine the real people who have caused that. The $50,000 is excessive, especially since the Parks and Recreation and Natural Resources Department estimated, and I quote, the initial cost to be approximately $20,000 to clean up the park. The remainder of the balance will be used for ongoing cleanup efforts throughout the life of the MSBU. Additionally, we do not understand the methodology used to determine the correct number of ERUs, since the number has changed several times over the course of the MSBU. A bit of background information may help understand where I'm coming from. The Oaks Park MSBU was approved on September 28th, 2021, with an implementation date of January 1, 2023. We seem to be right on course for that. At that meeting, the County Commission also voted to change the zoning from 5MF to a code something like Parks Open Space or Parks Preserve. The code has not yet been changed. Can you tell us when the new zoning code will be in effect and what it will be? Perhaps, and hopefully fall under maybe Chapter 800, Natural and Cultural Resources Protection. An additional bit of background about me: I retired from the City of Clearwater after 28+ years. Over 20 of those years were with Parks and Recreation. I was the maintenance coordinator for 176 parks. During the time I served the department, we had many instances of illegal dumping on park property. Some folks were kind enough to include their personal information, so we could turn that over to Clearwater Police Department, could track them down. As to the rest of the trash, we never, ever dumped these costs on the neighboring communities. All of the trash removal expenses were included in our general fund budget. In closing, I have included some photographs on page 2 of what I've passed out to show the current conditions of the Oaks Park. Thank you very much.
That's quite a treehouse. Okay, who do you have next?
Mr. Fred Colucci,
And who's after, 'cause we have,
Cindy Fargo.
Cindy, if you could line up behind Fred, that would be great.
May I have a resolution?
Motion receive and file.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fred Colucci, and I live at 9109 Cotswold Way in Heritage Lake. I have lived there for 26 years, and I've lived in Pasco County for 43 years. I'm very unhappy about the Oaks Park MSBU project and how we are now hit with a bill for clearing the trash for $50,000, since the county should have never let this happen in the first place. However, let's clear up another issue. Pasco County purchased Gulf Harbor's golf course, also an MSBU project, for $1.2 million and backcharged 1,800 residents for only $600,000, which is only half of the purchase price. We note here that no upfront requests for the funds to clean up the property, and no interest is being charged on that MSBU. Now, the Oaks Park MSBU was purchased for $3 million, and the county is backcharging 1,710 of those residents for the full price. That's 932 residents from Heritage Lake, and the 778 balance are the other 4 neighborhoods. In addition, the county wants to add a cleanup assessment for the entire 15 years, plus pay a 0.5% interest on the $3 million. The total would probably pay about $3.6 million. I think there's an injustice here. I feel that Pasco County is in good shape financially and should forgive this payment of the entire $3 million. Please, put a hold on this project and reconsider this matter at another meeting after reaching out to all the parties that are involved. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Cindy? And who's after Cindy?
Next up will be Jean Sapelli.
Cindy Fargo, 5030 Gallatin Drive, Newport Richey, Florida. Before I start my comments, I'd like to enter into the record our 2 objections that were timely filed with the board.
Motion receive and file.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
We object to our property being included in the final assessment roll. We provided the board with 2 independent mileage determinations indicating our property is actually 7.75 miles walking distance from the only potential access point to this MSBU property for property owners within our Southern Oaks subdivision. Given this distance is 50% over the stipulated 0.5 miles walking distance designated for inclusion in this MSBU, we respectfully ask the board to remove our property from the final assessment roll. Further, there has been no information provided by the county as to if and when this access would be open to either pedestrian and/or vehicle traffic. We object to our property being included in the final special assessment, as we continue to question the legality, ethics, and financial integrity of proceeding with this MSBU and related annual special assessment. It is not necessary to proceed with this clearly flawed MSBU, as the county has ownership of the property and can now ensure reasonable and compatible development. No individual property owner should be forced into this fiasco. There was a total disregard by the board for the rights of affected property owners to fully vet the terms and conditions of this MSBU and indicate their approval or rejection of this MSBU and related special assessments. Neither the establishment nor the activation of the MSBU after 7 years of dormancy included a vote by affected property owners prior to approval by the board. We contend the board has abused their authority to establish an MSBU for the primary purpose of raising funds from a targeted group of property owners as a vehicle for reimbursement to the county general fund for the 2014 purchase of the property in settlement of a land use zoning conflict with the county, developer, and surrounding property owners. Further, we contend this purpose does not constitute the statutory requirements of providing an essential service in the establishment of an MSBU. This special assessment places an undue financial burden on 280 of the 372 property owners within Southern Oaks who currently pay $300 per year HOA assessment fees to cover the maintenance costs of over 86 acres of common areas and open areas we own in common within our Southern Oaks subdivision. The annual special assessment under the MSBU represents a 45% increase over our existing HOA assessment fees. For the board to contend providing additional open space outside of our subdivision is providing an essential service is absurd. Thank you for allowing the comments.
Thank you.
Gene Cifelli,
And who's up
followed
after
by
Jean?
William Day.
Jean Cifelli, 5030 Gallatin Drive, Newport Richey, Florida. I'm going to give you a little history on why we object to the MSBU special assessments. Attempts by Mike Fasano and Richard Corcoran to obtain state funds to be applied toward the purchase of the property were vetoed by then-Governor Rick Scott. It should be noted the stated purpose for the funds requested in their bill was to purchase 41.47 acres of property for the construction of a stormwater retention pond to mitigate flooding within the Heritage Lakes community. Nothing in there would benefit Southern Oaks property owners. The board informed and consulted with only representatives of homeowners association boards versus proper notification to effective individual property owners relating to options available prior to the activation of this MSBU. Members of any HO or board do not have the authority to approve a non-ad valorem special assessment on individual property owners. Affected property owners within Southern Oaks were never informed by the county or our HOA board of the details of such options available prior to board vote to activate the MSBU. Proceeding with this MSBU is fiscally irresponsible. By activating this MSBU, the board is placing an undue tax burden on a selected target of property owners while depriving the citizens of Pasco County a significant source of property tax revenues that would be generated from reasonable and compatible development of the property. Prior to establishment of the MSBU, county official Matthew Armstrong indicated under the terms of this MSBU, the county would own the land, and further, the county would maintain the property as it is county-owned. Why do the terms of the special assessment include ongoing maintenance charges? Affected property owners do not have a full grasp of the terms and conditions of the MSBU. Scant documentation has been provided by the county from its establishment in 2014 to its activation in 2021 to the upcoming scheduled collection of special assessments starting in 2022. We have outlined numerous unresolved questions to be answered. When did it become so easy to reach into the pockets of others? This is wrong.
Thank you. And come on up. And who's the next speaker?
William Day, followed by Bill Murphy.
How many do I have signed up? And two on.
My name is William Day. I live in Riverside Village, the affected property. I'm not represented by a homeowners association. I'm a resident that lives on Nile Drive, which is directly west of the property. I don't want an apartment complex in the middle of my neighborhood, or our neighborhood, should I say. I love what's happened in the fact that the county has purchased the property. I fully understand what had happened with the state. I was involved years ago with what was going on. Personally, I don't mind paying $135 a year to keep land pristine. I know there's dumping issues back there. I'm very familiar with the property. I think there's some simple, affordable resolutions to keep the property, people dumping. I'm open to anybody that wants to hear my suggestions. Now is not the time nor the place. Fencing and stuff like that, I just think keeping vehicles out of there and the ability to dump in there should be the priority. But the bottom line is that originally this all started because a very large apartment complex was going to be placed on that property involving considerable amounts of traffic. Now, a lot of this may be hearsay, but I believe bus routes were going to go in there. You know, a lot of people and a lot of traffic were going to be coming in and out of that property, which was going to essentially affect a non-real main road area, a residential community, not with a busy thoroughfare, but now you're going to have thousands of people, maybe I'm overestimating, and traffic coming in and out of this quiet neighborhood. My neighborhood is right in the middle, right in there, okay? As far as who you're going to charge or what that, I am not opposed in any way. I think $135 a year, I'm more than willing to pay that. The $165, I'm more than willing to pay that as someone who's opposed to this atrocity, proposed atrocity. If the county's going to keep the property, or the state, it's going to be made into a park, I'm all for that. As far as light development, more houses, okay. I don't want an apartment. The old expression NIMBY, not in my backyard, okay? Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Bill Murphy, followed by Chuck Elron.
Motion to receive and file?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Good morning. My name is Bill Murphy. I live in Heritage Lake. I'm here, number one, to protest along with the others the $50,000 charge for cleaning up property that should have been done for all these years. Also, with the amount of things, the information we have gotten different letters from the county, from Pasco County, and one thing changes and another thing changes. I think really at this point, we would like to have some more time to look at what options and have things down in writing. And one person had mentioned, of course, about the property being rezoned. Right now, from what we understand, it is not. So I think that charge is additional. I think that should certainly be included if this happens in the purchase price. The second thing I would like to ask about is a concern about liability and its associated maintenance with that. Do we, the 5 committees participating in the MSBU, if it goes through, have any exposure or liability for accidents or injuries due to the county's failure to properly maintain this park, whether or not it involves trespassers, kids falling off tree houses, or off-road vehicles? Are MSBU participants covered by the county's liability insurance?
Thank you very much. We're going to respond to all these when everyone's done.
Mr. Elrod, Chuck Elrod, followed by Bob Rock.
Yes, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My last name is Eldred, not Elrod.
Motion to
I
receive and
apologize.
file.
Please.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
My name is Chuck Eldred. I've lived at 9824 Kingsport Avenue in Newport Richey. A little background on myself. I've been involved in this since day one, back in 2012 when we started at 55.
We are 55, what was the, we are 55
55-33,
strong? Yes.
But anyway, I've been involved in it a long time, and I'm here to discuss and have concerns about the $50,000 being charged for the cleanup of the Oaks Park. Specifically, my concern related to the county varying explanation as to how the ERUs are calculated and how they were made. All this information has come from the
Pasco County park staff, I believe. There's some confusion as to how the half mile is either from the center of the property or the perimeter of the property. Finally, we were told that this starts at the perimeter of the property, and the last number we got that we were aware of is there's 1,710 ERUs in the final calculation. If you look at the math on this, we purchased the property for $3 million. The maintenance fee for the first year is going to be, I believe, and the fee is going to be $164.80, and then they're going to add that takes care of the $50,000. We pay back the $3 million. It was $135.56 per year times 1,710 units over 15 years. That's $3,477,114. Where does the $477,114 come from? Might this indicate a 15.9% interest charge? As you take the $3,000 over 15 years, and we believe the count is, well, we have no idea what the count is, what the ERU is, but over 15 years at 135.56, that would be 1,475 units, not 1,710. And at the end of this, there's a picture of this I handed out, and on the northwest corner, there's 100 condo units at Heritage Lake that are definitely outside the half-mile limit, and this should not be included in the ERU. This ERU number is raised and up and down. I think when we first talked about it, it was 1588, then it was 1544, then it was 1566, and now we come up with 1710. And that's it on that part of it. But I'd like to talk a minute on this letter that we all got from the Parks and Recreation Department. There's nothing in this letter that says anything about the MSBU being 15 years. But one of the figures that they come up with, it says the annual revenue collected from the MSBU will be $281,800.93. Now, if you take that number and multiply it times 15, we come up with $4,227,013.95.
Sir, I'm sorry, your time is up, but I'd really like to see a copy of that letter. I've not seen that letter. So would you mind if I had someone come out and copy that? And then we'll give it back to you?
That's what it says in this letter.
Thank you very much.
Motion to receive and file.
No, we can't, we're not going to receive that in file yet, because that's his, we're going to get copies for everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate your taking the time to listen to me.
Sure, go Air Force.
Thank you.
I got a son-in-law deployed right now.
Mr. Bob Rock, followed by Donna
Motion to receive and
Martz.
file.
All in favor? Aye.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Bob Rock, 9417 Stonewall Lane here in beautiful Newport Richey. My involvement goes back to the days of 5533, way back in 2014, and the meetings that we had with Mr. Chris Schur, the then owner of the property. That now is owned by the county today, and now wants to charge us an additional $50,000 one-time charge on top of a previous MSBU 8 years ago. Trying to figure out why that has happened. It seems to me like the county has dropped the ball going back then. At that time, I was the board president for Heritage Lake from 2007 and was the board president for 10 years. I'm currently the first vice president on the board today. And what I did back then was every year, because that money was supposed to be allocated by the folks up in, that make the budget up in Tallahassee, that they were going to pay back the county $1.5 million in 2 different installments. At that time, I got a call from then lost my track here. Anyway, I got a call on my cell phone that the money had been appropriated, the first amount for $1.5 million, and then I heard that the money was allocated but never reached the county. So I'm trying to figure out what happened there. Every year I call Mike Fasano, our tax assessor, our tax collector, and ask him if the county had submitted the paperwork necessary for this to go on and be applied to the homeowners on their tax bill. And year after year after year after year, no, we never got the paperwork from the county to get it included on the tax bills. What had happened to the MSBU that was approved way back when and never got instituted, going back to that time? And now the county wants to charge us an additional $50,000. On top of that, they changed the radius on the property from a half mile from the center of the property to the perimeter of the property to include more coverage and get more homes. So what happened to the first MSBU? The gentleman I got a call from was Richard Corcoran, and that the county has done nothing over the last 8 years that we've been involved in this property, except cutting the grass. I gave the lady here some pictures of that on December 28th. Heritage Lake paid for a new drainage gate. The property over there was back in 2013 was dredged by then owner Mike or Chris Scherer. And that, so as far as the county spending money over the last 8 years on that particular property, I don't see them doing anything or have done anything except doing the cutting the grass.
Thank you very much.
We'd hope you drop your $50,000.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that, I'm sure. Thank you very much. And-
Donna Mertz, followed by Paul Mertz.
Good morning. Thank you for listening to me today. I'm Donna Mertz. I live at 10031 Wheatland Road, Newport Richey in Southern Oaks. I'm here today because I've been recently involved in this process. Unfortunately, well, through the years, I was not part of it, and I now see how much I am affected by it in Southern Oaks. I feel that the board neglected to address this issue directly with the homeowners prior to this meeting and prior to your voting. It was my understanding that there was some type of notice that was recently sent out, not that letter, but prior to that, which we never got. So when we got that letter, we were very shocked that we, Southern Oaks, were more than a half a mile from the property, which is in another development, how we are now monetarily responsible for it. We've owned the property for 31 years without any incident and find that this whole process was not in the interest of the affected homeowners. And it seems that it is unfair governmental business practice that violates our rights as a Pasco County homeowner. And I request that you remove Southern Oaks from this debt and from the involvement in this, because it has nothing to do with our development. And then another thing I found out was you singled out homeowners in Southern Oaks, so it's not even the whole community, which I find very unfair. And also, I don't know if this is correct, but it's my understanding that, well, I did see that after a certain amount of years, we're going to be responsible based on $31,000 in expenses, which, of course, in 15 years, those expenses will exceed that. Thank you for listening to me, and I vote against it, and I hope you will too.
Thank you.
Mr. Mertz is indicated to pass, so Tom Summers, followed by Bill Gillies.
Are there any more after that?
Just one more.
And then two online? Okay. Good morning, Commissioners. Bill, come on up and get in line. Thank you.
My name is Tom Summers. I live at 9903 Kingsport, Newport Richey. It's in the Heritage Lake development. I'm here today to protest the $50,000 charge for clearing the Oaks Park. My specific concern is the law enforcement of this area. Will any of this 50,000, if it is approved, going to go to increase patrols or to the an installation of cameras, trail cameras, to help mitigate the problems with the illegal dumping and the guys riding the dirt bikes and the target shooting that's been going on? Recently, a resident in Heritage Lake had a window shot out by a pellet shot from about 50 yards away in the Oaks Park area. That was a concern. Now, just again recently, there was a incident where there was shooting going on in this 41 acres surrounded by houses. And the concern is that even though Pasco County Sheriff did respond, there's still these issues, and what we're hoping for is maybe to have a little more surveillance or whatever going on to this area. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Gillies, followed by, and I apologize, but Bob Mike?
Hi.
Morning.
Again, my name's William Gillis. I live at 9841 Alvernon Drive in Riverside Village Estates. Most of you already know me, so I won't give you any more particulars than that, but there's several things I want to say, but I'm only going to say a couple. First of all, if this passes, I would like to put my bill in for the $20,000, since I went over there the other day and spent about a half hour and picked up all the trash that was laying around. So that's what's involved in maintenance. Cut it a couple times a year. You're probably going to use county workers, paying them, I don't know, $65, $75 an hour. If that's the case, I'd like to apply, but. So,
If that's the
basically.
case, I'm signing up for that job.
You and me both. Basically, I just think the number's a little out of line with the cost. So I guess we just need to see some, some figures that Parks and Recreation came up with that determine this number, and I think we need to revisit it.
Okay.
So, thanks.
Thanks, Bill.
Bob starts with an M.
Is there anyone else in the room that wishes to speak after Bob? Because then we have 2 people online, and then we're going to stop public comment. So if you wanted to speak, you just need to line up there behind Bob. Morning.
Bob Muha, I live in Southern Oaks.
We need your address.
Pardon?
We need your address.
4646 Fort Shaw Drive, in Port Richey. I'm okay with that becoming a zone park property as long as it's never developed and just stays as it is. I don't know if that's the case, the way the wording is, but I wouldn't be opposed to that. But the 50,000 cleanup does sound a little excessive. Well, it's been the county's property for a while now, so cleanup should have been done on a regular basis to begin with, so why is it all hit now? Yeah, there is people dumping their yard waste and stuff there, but that's nothing new. So I just wanted to bring that up. And hopefully, if it does go through and it becomes zone park, hopefully it will never get developed. It'll stay as is. And if it does, hopefully there's sufficient notice ahead of time before anything's approved. So.
Great, thank you.
My name is Jim Conlon, Heritage Lake. I'd just like to know why they don't rezone it and sell it for just private homes. And this way, we wouldn't have any problems at all.
Thank you. I'm going to bring up the history here in a second.
Hello, I'm Miriam Butler. I live at 4347 Genesee Drive in Riverside Village Estates. I'm president of the Homeowners Association. And I just want to say that all of the homeowners that I have spoken to, and that is almost all, are very happy to have the MSBU established. Many of us had put in a lot of time over the years, hoping to see that accomplished. There are concerns about the $50,000, and some of us were hoping that maybe today we would find out a little bit more about what specifically would be done for $50,000, but now I see that perhaps that isn't what the purpose is today. So there are concerns about that, but the citizens that I represent are willing to make the payments and are happy to have that land preserved. So thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, this is the last speaker here, and then we're going to go to the speakers online.
Good morning. My name is Henry Nocha. I'm at 4420 Oklawaha Lane in Riverside Estates. And a little background, I'm a Vietnam vet.
Thank you for your service.
I went over to fight for my country. Now I want to fight for my neighborhood. From what I heard from most of the people, there's a problem with the mat. It's not a problem with the park. So
We're going to ask some questions here in a
I'm in
second.
agreement with, I would love to see it stay as a park, because if you increase all of those people, it's going to ruin our neighborhood, or our properties are all going to go down. So I think, and I believe everybody would agree, if you readjust the prices, they won't have a problem with the park. And that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, we have two speakers online. We're going to go to one now.
And that would be Vincent Anderson.
It says Lynn. Good morning.
Good morning. We're
Ooh.
at 9040.
1 second. Is that as good as it's going to get there? Lynn, ma'am, could you please increase your volume, because we really can't hear you very well. There it goes.
It is all the way up.
There you go. That's much better. We need your name and address for the record.
Okay, there you go. All right, we're at 9040 Warwick Lane. That's in Cambridge Commons 1 in the Heritage Lake community. And we did serve written objection to this to you last week in accordance with your procedures. Our primary objection is how the area is calculated. We were advised it was within a half a mile. We're going to be from the closest point as the crow flies, according to Christina, that was going to be included in the assessment. But we have calculated, and from our home to the northwest corner is clearly 0.52 miles away. That is outside of the half-mile requirement. And then we noticed that other communities, such as Villa del Rio, that's directly south of Heritage Lakes, they're not on the boundary map at all, yet they're only 0.25 miles away. So we object to how this map was calculated, that the entire Heritage Lakes complex was included, even though there are clearly a whole segment of us that are outside of that half-a-mile radius. At the very least, if you do go ahead with this, the Villa del Rio should be included in that assessment, as that would have the overall effect of lowering the annual amount for all. And Mr. Wiley, it should be noted, did agree with my assessment when Ms. Starkey forwarded my email to him. And August 10th, he did agree that that was calculated 9 years ago, and it probably is not accurate. So in summation, we request that our address of 9040 Warwick Lane be removed from the assessment, and perhaps do a better job of recalculating the entire map.
Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you for letting me speak today.
Sure. You came in loud and clear. Next one.
Well, Vincent was on the list. I believe that was Lynn Anderson, and there are no others on the list at this time, unless he is wanting to speak.
No, that's fine. He is sitting here next to me.
Okay.
All right. So Keith, I'm sure we have some questions. And I think maybe, come on up, Keith, but maybe I'm just going to remind everyone kind of how we got here, but it's been a while and I don't have a timeline in front of me. But I think some of the gentlemen here who spoke remember that there was a request for approval of a site plan for apartments that were going to come up on this park. It was not something that the county could deny. There was a vote to deny the site plan, and we had board members who were personally sued because they violated Florida law. And so that vote was overturned, and the gentleman was allowed, his site plan was approved for 260, I don't know, something like 260 apartments there in that land in the center of your developments. And in that time, all the neighborhoods around the park, 55,000, what was the number, 5535? And it was Southern Oaks, Heritage Lakes, all the communities around there banded together, all the HOAs. This room has never been as full as during that time when all the citizens came out against apartments in that area. And so after that deal was done, we spoke to the developer and their agents and said, would you agree to sell that land to the community that is around it? And they said yes. We had meetings with all the groups involved, and we said, you can buy this land and make it a park for your community, because your community was developed as what's called a sub-DRI, and it should have had a park, but it didn't because it was sold off differently. And the community said, yes, we would rather buy it than have it be apartments. This is not a county park. This is a community-owned park within your community, similar to what's happening in Gulf Harbors. So we're only buying half of that piece of land. So that is how we got where we are today. I know that the senator and Richard Corcoran tried very hard to get some state money to purchase it, but it was vetoed every year because there is no opportunity for that to be a stormwater pond. There's no storage there. Over the years, we tried to see if there was a use for the county as a park, and could we use that money that we loaned the community to buy it from the developer with? And we tried, and the answer was no. And it has no ELAMP value, so we either had to go ahead and pay back the citizens of Pasco County, or sell it, downzone it, and sell it for development and return the money to the citizens of Pasco County. So we went again and we reached out to the community. Would you rather have townhomes or something that would get us to the value of getting our money back, our $3 million back, or would you rather it stay in its natural state as a park? We went through all those hearings, and the community said, no, we want our park. So that's where we are today. But we have questions, I think, Keith, about how the boundaries were set and some of the numbers. So, and board members, you may have some questions for Keith.
Before we get to the numbers, can I go over just a couple of things?
Sure.
All right, so I think the board would probably agree. We've done cleanups in different neighborhoods.
Yeah,
probably a
I'm
lot
fine for
worse than
waiving
this.
that
So I
$50,000.
think everybody's going to agree that we're going to waive the 50
Yeah,
grand.
we'll waive that
All
$50,000.
right, so.
But come on up, Keith, because we,
But I'm not done. I'll go a
Yeah.
little further.
Okay.
And, we're bound by sunshine law, so we can't talk to each other about anything we're going to vote on. So what I'm going to come up with is just a thought I had the other day. I've had a long relationship in Heritage Lakes. Bob Rock and I have talked many, many times about different things, such as the Aloha purchase, the FGA, et cetera. So I reached out to Bob, and I gave him a call, and I would say probably like about an hour or two later, he's got about 10 people in the room, and I pitched my idea. The market value, and I'm going to say, I think the commission has done everything right with this property all the way to this point. I mean, the way we did the ELAMP over in Gulf Harbors was different. There was a different concept there for what that property was going to be. So I don't think we're treating it differently. It is just a different property. I think the way we set up everything is in a good form. But there's an opportunity that's out there that we haven't had before, and it's been brought up twice now. And I think if we look at, nobody wanted to see the multifamily complex coming in. We all knew the right was there, so we bought the property. But in relation to what's happened with property values have gone through the roof. So let's say the land's worth twice as much as it was now. We might be able to take a look at doing a downzoning of the property, matching the R4 that's in the area all around it anyway. And if we can bring it to the R4, bring it to the market, and maybe the market would say, we'll want to buy it, that would take care of all your trash accumulation, the park's maintenance fees that'll go in there, your fees going in there. And if on the situation where it actually comes to extra money that's out there, it might even allow for money that we can use to go buy the Aloha utility and put money towards that as well, if it goes that way. So we can directly take, if there's a surplus, we can put it into, this would be taken over the Aloha FGOA, bring you into the county water service, which
So-
we've talked about for years about how to go about it. And if there was extra money like we've got from others, from the state to help, it could make it work. And if that goes, that would actually bring your rates down a lot in your water.
Commissioner Mariano, we did do evaluations and had a lot of discussions about downzoning, which to me, I was fine to do that. It was up to the community whether they wanted houses or a park. So I don't think we're going to be able to finish this today. We have a board meeting that starts at 10, and I'm not going to continue this till late this afternoon and start all over again. So I think we're going to continue this, but
Chairman,
Yeah?
you've got to take this up before your budget hearings. So, I mean, this is tied to.
oh, because then the MSBU can't be enacted.
Right.
Okay, so
Well, the
well, we-
MSBU is enacted, you can't, it won't go on the tax bill
Won't go
for
on the
this
tax
next
bill.
year.
So,
That's up to the board.
Should we have Keith answer some of the questions that were brought up, or what's the board's pleasure? I mean, we did try and talk about the surplus. That's why the board did a number of how many units it would take to get to the 3 million. We weren't worried about interest. And it was, do you remember the number?
I was going to say, I mean, quite honestly, the team could use the time to maybe, I was doing my best to write all the questions down, at least mostly from public comment. I would appreciate the time to obviously at least get specific answers to these questions, so that way at the next hearing, we'll be prepared. Quite honestly, the fiscal piece, I think ultimately is the piece that I think we'll need some time to make sure that we get right. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that it's wrong, I would have to get with my fiscal team to confirm all those numbers.
Yeah, I feel like there's still so many questions about the boundaries, and I just don't think we're going to get the boundary calculation today. I don't think we're going to get that answered in time, and we may just have to wait again.
Yeah, Madam Chair, just
Yeah.
one thing. I agree. I mean, we'll just have to wait a year. There's not going to be anything on the tax bill. But it was brought up a number of times about the cleanup and about the possibility of waiving that $50,000. Is there a possibility that we can use some of our resources to go and try to clean some of that up now,
Yeah, I texted the administrator,
since it is getting pretty bad out there?
and so let's let the administrator answer that, Keith. Get you off the hot seat.
We can go out and clean it up.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay.
Thank
So,
you. Madam Chairman, just for clarification, Keith, the 50,000 that you put in the budget, was that for a one-time cleanup, or was that for ongoing maintenance of the park?
No, yes, sir. So the 50,000 was for a one-time cleanup, and quite honestly, could be used for fencing, signage. You don't really know ultimately all the details that you're going to experience when you inherit one of these projects, but it was a one-time cost. And then there is a reoccurring, obviously, cost for maintenance based on what we would assume the community would want to see for maintenance based on our county contract.
One other thing I will suggest to the board, and I don't know that it's adequate time or it's something the board wants to do, but you do have these hearings for the east side in Dade City at 9 a.m. on your 9/6 meeting. This could be continued to that if that would provide adequate time, but.
Yeah, I don't think, Madam Chair.
I don't want to make all these people drive to Dade City.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get all the answers, and Commissioner Mariano being the district commissioner is.
No, it's me.
Oh, I'm sorry, is it?
It started
My
out,
bad.
when it started out, it was
Can't keep up with
Christina.
the borders these days.
And that was part of the confusion, because it started out as Commissioner Fitzpatrick's, and then it switched to me. So and they didn't know, so I wasn't notified of the meetings. So I wasn't,
Well,
I didn't know they were going on.
I like,
Madam
sorry,
Chair.
I like his ideas, Commissioner Mariano brought up. I think just working with the community and having those discussions and take the year and do that.
Yeah.
Take the year and do it.
I'm kind of thinking that too, sorry.
In addition, I do agree with waiving the 50,000. Last year, I did meet with all of the homeowner associations, and they did come up with, they did want to move forward to making it open spaces. And I would like to ask, is Sally still here? Or I did discuss and recommend last year, put a motion in for the comprehensive plan for the future land use to be updated and changed to recreational and open spaces. So it would not be multifamily.
Yeah, I kind of feel we went through the idea of whether it would be homes or a park and settled that one. But for me, I feel very uncertain about how the numbers were calculated and the boundaries. And I just want to make sure we go back and look at historical data of what we said back when we said what we were going to do in 2014 and make sure we're correct.
Madam Chair. If I could. I mean, judging with the hour of time, I'm going to make a motion. I'm going to motion we continue this to the following year. I want Parks to study the numbers, to come back with numbers, but I want staff to go pursue what the value of this property could be for R4 zoning, to look at surplusing it.
Yeah, we have that.
So we can at least go take a look and take some bids in,
Yep.
take some offers in to see what the numbers come out to be, and then we can lay both sets of figures in front of the people and say, here's what we've got, what do you want to see?
All right.
And I would like,
Under discussion, we did do that. If we want to do it again, we can put
I
ourselves
think
through
the
that
market's
again.
part now.
But, okay, Christine, under discussion?
at this time,
So you
If they
understand
were-
what we're doing?
okay, so last year, just so it doesn't continue on, since it's been going on since 2014, I was filled in with everything going on when I first came, and I spent time and met with every homeowner, with the homeowners associations. And if it is sold for a surplus, and the citizens are responsible for it, then the citizens should be getting back a refund for the surplus that is purchased.
No, citizens have not put any money out, so, okay. All right, I'm going to call the question.
One question. During this year, aren't we getting extra interest costs against this $3 million we paid for this?
I don't know if we charged interest. I don't think we have been charging interest on that 3 million.
I think the interest rate for the MSBU was set on what the counties was getting at the time on their general investments. I think that's where the .05 came from.
Yep.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
That's a pretty good rate.
I just don't want to wait a year and then we have an extra cost there, so.
And I would like to see this move forward within the next few months as well, not waiting another year till right before it's needing an MSBU again. We could have, last year we discussed this, and it should have been ongoing this whole time, not waiting a month before
So,
the budget's
Christina,
due.
the challenge with that, and maybe I'll let the county attorney explain to everybody how it works, where we have to work on it so it gets on the tax roll. So do we have to wait a year, or can we?
Well, you can, if the desire of the board and the community is to surplus this property and make it single-family residential, you've got the next year to do that. These hearings must be done at this time.
Right.
So the public hearing that's had today was going to have to be done today regardless of the decision, because there's a statutory window that you have these public hearings for non-ad valorem assessments, and this is the earliest you can do it. But if you're not going to do the non-ad, well,
We either surplus it, or we do that
clarifying
this time next year.
clarifying the math and all that kind of stuff can all be done ahead of this public hearing, or surplusing it could be done well in advance of this public hearing that you wouldn't have to have it, so.
You cannot address us from there, and we're past the 10 o'clock, so I'm going to call the question. Okay, all in,
If the
Call the question.
this was,
I agree with you.
this was agreed back in 2014, it was going to be open spaces. It should not be going back out to move forward to for sale when, for the past 7 years, they wanted it to be open spaces. And now it has been going on for so long,
Yeah,
It needs
it's
to be
just-
finalized
For-
with correct
Call the
numbers.
question?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Wait, what was the motion?
The motion was to delay it for a year.
I think it should be continued.
Questions?
I know, but,
No.
okay. All right, thank
Coach.
you.
Thank you.
We will have another meeting on this in the future. Thank you. We're going to move on to our 10 o'clock meeting now.
So in the next year, then it can
Oh,
be
wait.
changed to
Are we not
multifamilies?
done?
Madam Chair, we need about 5 minutes to reset between
All
the
right,
different.
5 minutes. We'll start the board meeting in about 5 minutes.
That's the first. 6 years.
Yes.
My script is.
Here's an extra copy, I don't need it. No, it's my copy, but I don't need it.
Wait, is that for this morning?
Was all the way over there? Yeah, maybe he was watching, maybe he was.
Yeah, this is the 9 o'clock.
And it was the today's station, you know, if you go out to certain markets, you can still watch the local market.
Okay, we're
But
ready?
yeah, it was all over.
You ready?
I'm with seeing it. I'm just. Are you excited?
Good morning. And sorry we're running a little late. We had a long 9 o'clock meeting this morning. So good morning. I'd like to call to order the Pasco County Board of County Commission 10 o'clock meeting of August 24th, 2022. At this time, please silence all electronic devices and mute your microphones. Please rise for the invocation and pledge.
O merciful Creator, your hand is open wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful for your loving providence and grant that we, remembering the account that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Here.
District 2, Commissioner Moore.
Here.
District 4, Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Here.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Here.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Here. Now is the time for public comment. Citizens are given an opportunity to comment on current or future agenda items coming before the board and on any other business under the board's purview. Today's public comment will be handled as follows. First, we will take public comment from those who are here in person. Then we will take public comment for those who have pre-registered for a WebEx link and are currently on queue. We request that when you address the board, comments are not directed personally against the commissioner or team member, but rather directed at the issues. This provides mutual respect between board members and the public. After stating your name and address for the clerk, a 3-minute timer will be activated. After 2 minutes, a single beep will indicate you have 1 minute left. When your time is up, 2 beeps will sound and you should close your comments. WebEx participants will be disconnected automatically when their time is up. Mr. Clerk, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
Yes, we do. First up would be Wanda Chesnoff, followed by Johnny Beland.
Good morning. My name is Wanda Chasnoff. I live at 6608 Status Lane, Newport Richey. It's located off of Green Key. I've been dealing with flooding since I've lived there. I lived there 16 years now. I live toward 19, which is would be east of Olsner. Y'all got the grants for Olsner and all to be taken care of down there. I am not included in that. I would like to be included in it. I've had Sammy from Stormwater out there. He says it's all due to clogged pipes and pipes that are under Green Key that are clogged. I have went to the city. The city was supposed to be working with Sammy. Now Sammy's left the job. Now we don't know nothing, and I'm a bit frustrated because my car just got flooded last Thursday for the second time. I didn't buy a new car to pay for it to get flooded. And I've been dealing with this since I've been living there, and I can't get anything done. And I'm here to ask a commitment to do something. Okay, because when you come off of 19, from 19 to Olsner, it's so flooded it's up to above your doors. You know, people trying to walk, there's no sidewalk, there's nothing. You got 2 men there in electric wheelchairs that have to wait for the flooding to go down before they can get out of there. And my man next door to me is a one man, they just come in there and got him in an ambulance because he couldn't get out. Okay, so what can we do? Sammy proved to me, showed storm road and bridges that the pipes are clogged that go under Green Key to go down the ditch to plug, to drain. And you can't drain if the pipe is plugged. We dealing with DOT, we dealing with y'all, and we dealing with the city of Newport Richey. Where do I stand?
Let me touch it real quick. I know we don't do the public comment, but Wanda, you've been here many times. We've got that funding coming from Green Key, which is going to help the area. I understand it's separate from you, but if you were at Brantford,
I'm told I'm not in it
No, no, no,
by
just-
everybody.
no, that's fine. We can still add it in as we look at it, but would you get with her and talk about the maintenance?
Yeah, I want a commitment.
No,
No,
and
he's talking-
Branford's the head guy. Branford is phenomenal to deal with, so I want you to get with Branford, talk with him. Branford, take a look at the maintenance, and then we'll find a way to get
And
you.
I'd really like for you to come back out there.
I
We
will.
need to see.
I'll go with Branford. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next.
Johnny Bland, followed by Joyce Pracky.
Good morning, I'm Johnny Beeland, 4934 Fruitwood Loop in Holiday, and I'm very fortunate to live within a 10-minute drive to a beautiful Anclote Park and the boat ramp there. Enjoy using both. I recently learned that there's plans to put a restaurant in the park gets pretty crowded as it is already. I'd like to, I don't believe, and I'm sure the county commission's working on rezoning the park to include some commercial entities. We have the sponge docks down the river. I love taking my boat down there to go to Rusty Bellies or Captain Jack's, already commercially zoned. I don't think we need a restaurant that is going to bring in much more traffic. I'm assuming this restaurant's going to be allotted a liquor license, at least serve beer. I don't, nobody's allowed to have alcohol in the park as it is already. So a restaurant without beer, I don't know how successful that's going to be. We also, I don't see a lot of food trucks there. And I'm guessing that's because people don't go there to buy food. So I'm very new to this process, and I just wanted to bring this up to show my opposition. I'm going to be getting more involved in this. If I have to do some petitions, whatever it takes. Like I said, I'm very new to this. I just wanted to kind of introduce myself and.
Sure. The head of our parks is over here. And I'm going to have him meet with you out back to explain how we bought all that land there, and the park's going to be redone, and there'll be a lot more parking and improved boat ramps and beaches. So Keith, would you mind meeting with this gentleman out back? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Joyce, and followed by Ed Carter.
Hi, my name is Joyce Pracky. I live at 7516 Gulf Way in Hudson, Florida. I am part of Rainbow Palms community, which used to be part of Sea Pines community. I'm here to talk about the lot that they started building a swale on yesterday. They broke our water main. We were without water for a day. We're on water boil for 3 days, which stuff happens. I get that. But I'm on an information quest. I have a few people from my neighborhood here. We are all interested in how they're going to build the swale. I don't know if they've done a percolation test. I don't know what the conservation policy is, the construction policy of it. I do know that they oiled Old Dixie Road, which leads into a bigger problem of the water runoff. We are for the storm water to be taken care of and dealt with. We just want to know that it's done properly. Are there going to be any baffles, any grease filters before everything goes into our canal? Our canal, we get dolphins, we get manatees, we have a lot of sea life. We already have problems with seagrass. The manatees are dying because of seagrass. We don't want to kill things. We don't want silt in there. We're for this, like I said, we're for the stormwater. We want to make sure it's done. So I don't know. We're trying to figure out who to go to get all the information we need so that we know as a community what's going on. So that's why I'm here.
Is there staff here that is working on that project?
Branford's familiar with it. He's talking to Wanda right now. And I will tell you that the ditch that they're digging out was filled illegally years ago, and they were just reestablishing that.
Okay.
It is part of the bigger stormwater plan, which is going to be changed that whole area. We own both parcels now.
Right.
So it's going to be treated, cleaned, and better water is going to go in than is going in there currently.
So they're not building a swale right now?
All they're doing is reestablishing the ditch that was there historically, that was filled in illegally. So they're doing that, but it's part of the bigger plan. We own that 2 parcels together now, which is going to be part of the treatment process all the way through.
Do you own
So,
lots
guys,
78 and 77?
How about if we send her outside to Brantford?
Okay.
Brantford's very familiar with it. Colleen Weaver, Sonia, Colleen can show you what's going on with it exactly. And as I talked to one of the residents yesterday or the day before, I'm happy to go out and present to you guys what we're doing, or bring you down here and talk with you too.
Okay.
I could even do it at the break if you want to wait for the break.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you. Do we have anyone else?
Ed Carter, followed by V. Grassi.
Good morning. My name is Ed Carter. I live at 7703 Gulfway, Hudson. And Joyce basically covered part of what I wanted to talk about, and I talked to Jack Mariano briefly. I'm concerned the swale or ditch that they're digging on that property at the corner of Gulfway and Old Dixie, they cut our water line yesterday. It looks as though in order to make that ditch viable, our water line is going to be exposed, and I'm concerned about that. But I will join Joyce in the back and talk with that same thing.
Is your water back on?
It is. We're on a boil water basis now, but it was off most of yesterday. They cut it with the excavator, and right now the ditch is deeper than the water line, so.
They'll meet with you back there.
Thank you.
I'm sure they'll make sure you have water
Thank you very much.
safely. Sure.
V. Grassi.
My name is V. Grassi. I live at 3267 Gina Court, Holiday, Florida. And I'm here today to express my concern about the rate hike for our water bills. I also have questions about the expansion maybe of Tier 1. Right now it's 5,000 gallons. I think it maybe should be a little bit higher so more people can meet that without jumping into another tier. We don't have a choice. We can't go to another water company. That's all my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. And I guess that's Brantford Outback as well. Okay, is there anyone else here to wishes to speak to the Board of County Commissioners? Is there anyone online?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that concludes our public comment for today. And now is the time for resolutions.
Our first resolution is resolution number 22-190.
We have one at 11.
That gentleman's wanting to speak, right
Where?
there. The gentleman with the beard.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Well,
sorry, he
come
was-
on up. Sorry, I didn't see you raise your hand. You're kind of,
Yeah, sorry, he was here
Yeah, I can
earlier, and Andy shot me a message, he was waiting.
My name is Peter Winnie. I received this mail from Pasco County
can we get your
that I
address?
owe a $3,700 lien.
We'll
The
need your,
lien was 5 years before I ever bought the property. I bought the property at Pasco County tax deeds in Dade City. I didn't even have to bid on it because the piece of property I bought was next door to it, and nobody bid on this piece, so they gave it to me for the $12,000. I bought a track hoe for $18,000, but it broke. I had to spend another $10,000, and I'm still working on it. But I tore the trailer down. I got rid of it. So what am I supposed to do? I
Okay.
don't know what to do.
we're going to have our Assistant County Administrator, Sally, meet with you in the back and discuss your situation. Okay. All right, I think that was our last public comment, so we'll move on to our first resolution.
Resolution number 22-190, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, recognizing Lisa Breakey for being named the 2022 Public Educator of the Year by the Florida Fire Marshal and Inspectors Association. Whereas the Florida Fire Marshal and Inspectors Association mission is to serve the people of Florida by providing leadership for superior life safety strategies through inspection, investigation, public education, and code management. And whereas the Florida Fire Marshal and Inspectors Association has chosen Lisa Breckey as the recipient of their prestigious 2022 Public Educator of the Year Award, a distinction that signifies dedication and leadership in preventative risk education and fire safety. And whereas since her employment with Pasco County Fire Rescue began in 2018, Lisa has exhibited extraordinary commitment and drive to educate our community. And whereas among her many duties, Lisa serves as the lead contact for Pasco County's Prom Promise, a program that educates high school students throughout Pasco County on the dangers of driving under the influence. She coordinates Pasco County's smoke detector installation program. She coordinates the Knox Box program, which allows firefighters quick access into citizens' homes during emergencies. And she is a program instructor for the Juvenile Fire Starter Intervention Program. And whereas, apart from leading her own programs, Lisa also does not hesitate to assist her coworkers in any way, whatever way she can. She will do whatever it takes to ensure her team's success, even if it includes working early in the morning, late at night, or on the weekends. Her work ethic and spirit of cooperation bring her team together. And whereas in addition to her countless work on fire events and programs throughout Pasco, Lisa serves as a preventative safety instructor in Pasco County Fire Rescue's Community Risk Reduction Division. She is passionate about educating the public and furthering her own education to serve her community. Lisa recently earned her American Heart Association CPR instructor certification, which, in time, will allow her division to implement a CPR program where staff and members of the public can learn from Lisa. And whereas Lisa's passion for her work inspires everyone she works with, she is committed to educating the public with a smile and helping people whenever she has the opportunity. She regularly receives compliments and thanks from people who have the pleasure of working with her and the Public Risk Reduction Division. Her dedication to educating and keeping her community safe is the exact reason Lisa is the recipient of this prestigious award. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby congratulates Lisa Brecky for being named the 2022 Public Educator of the Year by the Florida Fire Marshal and Inspectors Association and commends her for her dedicated work in Pasco County Fire Rescue's Community Risk Reduction Division. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 24th day of August, 2022.
I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
My goodness.
Big
That's-
trophy.
That is quite an honor and quite a trophy. Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
That is quite a list of, quite a resume. I'd like to say thank you for everything that you do for the community. It's extremely important that we continue to invest in our youth and help guide them so they can have a better quality of life. So again, thank you for investing your time in education. Thank you.
And to have received this award in 5 years of after being with us for 5 years, that's amazing. So. Any,
Very impressive.
Yeah.
This is great.
All right, so-
You're probably getting tired of holding that, though.
Yeah, let's come. Do you want to address the board, and then we'll come down and take a photo? Do you want to say anything?
I'd just like to thank the commissioners for their time and acknowledgement. I do appreciate it. I couldn't do it without my great team and especially our field personnel. I'm grateful for them. So,
All right,
thank you.
well, we'll come down and take a photo. It's like, you know, one of those golfers. I'd make a nice
Come on over here. Come on in. How we doing?
All right, everybody, 1, 2, 3. Okay, got you. And then one with the phone.
Are you getting that? Is that? Because I can hold it if you want.
Such a gentleman.
All right, so we're going to go on to the consent agenda and we'll come back to 11 a.m. time certain. Okay, so board members, we have an 11 o'clock time certain on the next one, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So we will go on to the consent agenda. I have a pull list somewhere. I don't know why things are disappearing today. Thank you. Okay, I got it. All right, so we have C34 pulled by Bob Garing on pull and revise. C37 by Eric Breitenbach, pull and revise. C38, Alex Parnes, pull and revise. And C47 is a withdraw by Jenny Sykes. Are there any other items for the consent pull? Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you? Yeah, I'll take a motion on the consent. Okay,
Second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And are you up here for C34? Okay.
Morning, Commission. Eric Breitenbach, Assistant County Administrator for Internal Services. C34 is a budget amendment to provide fiscal year 22 funds to support one-time costs associated with the transfer of the detention center to county operations. This item is being revised to increase the funds requested by $514,799 for a new total of $1.5,073,889. This increase being requested is to support the procurement of IT equipment to establish a separate and distinct jail management system per the FDLE requirements. The purchases for this item will be performed via the emergency procurement procedures in the ordinance and reported back to the board via noted item at a future meeting. I respectfully request approval of this item as revised.
Move for approval as revised.
Second.
Discussion, please?
Yeah, I have a discussion too. Go ahead, Jeff.
All right, so Eric, we talked about the funding for these items. Some of them were for Penny for Pasco. Are they all future purchase with the jail? Are they all eligible for Penny for Pasco funds?
Not as the Penny for Pasco resolution is currently worded. It would require board action to revise the resolution for the Penny for Pasco to incorporate the eligibility for the Corrections Department, as it will be known once it transitions to the county, to be eligible to spend Penny for Pasco funds on it.
All right. If the board's comfortable, I'd like to see we make that modification so we can have the option to use Penny for Pasco funds rather than general fund money.
Well, how do you guys feel about that?
Don't you already use capital expenses for vehicles? I mean, funding for capital expenses such as vehicles?
So as currently constructed, the resolution under the public safety section is very specific on using Penny for Pasco funds for 3 departments: Pasco Sheriff's Office, Emergency Medical Services, and Fire Rescue. And so they would not create any new funding. To revise that resolution would only allow the eligibility for Corrections Department to be used should the board decide in the future. Today, it's covered under, because it's a subunit to the Pasco Sheriff's Office. It is not, will not be, no longer be part of the Pasco Sheriff's Office as of October 1.
So it was coming out of the sheriff's office before. So, yeah, I guess since it was coming there
So,
before,
ma'am,
I'm okay.
if I
You
may,
would have to
not
update the
all.
Penny for Pasco.
So this budget amendment also covers vehicles. This budget amendment is general fund dollars to replace vehicles that were purchased by the sheriff using general fund dollars. However, some of the vehicles that are transferring have been purchased in the past with Penny for Pasco.
Well, I think Commissioner Mariano's suggestion is that we allow you the flexibility.
Correct.
Do we have to amend the Penny for Pasco to allow use for the jail?
So you would have to amend your resolution, which currently sets percentages and allocations to each group. So as Eric mentioned correctly, right now, there's a certain percentage, I think it's 20%. 10% goes to Pasco County Sheriff's Office, which the sheriff generally uses to purchase vehicles and other types of smaller capital type equipment. The remaining 10% goes to our fire rescue, so through fire and emergency management. So you would be wanting to adjust that percentage, through that resolution, or you would have to adjust other percentages within the Penny for Pasco. So there's no new money here. It's how you're allocating it in the resolution.
So in the future, Penny, do we have the ability to add this?
Your ballot language allows you the flexibility for public safety, we believe.
We could just wait for the new penny.
If I could, the language in the resolution for the 2015 penny regarding public safety and the language for the resolution in the future 2025 penny is identical.
Oh.
As today, as we stand here. It's the resolution, it's not the ballot language.
Can we?
If you take it out of the public safety piece, that's consistent with your
Right.
voter intent. But you have limited yourself in the resolution, which Eric is suggesting that we change at some future date.
If the board desires.
To allow them to buy things that the jail
well,
was already.
And we,
Can,
I think that makes sense.
can we look at the budget and the financial statements, what the sheriff was formally applying to the jail? How much funds was he utilizing previously from the penny for the jail and continue to utilize that same percentage or amount in the future?
I would probably back up just a little bit and just remind the board that the sheriff's budget is general fund. That money comes from the general fund, and most of the purchases and the budget and the operation of the jail is funded with general fund dollars. We have budgeted for the jail. We've also budgeted these one-time expenses that Eric is bringing up. We've included that in the '23 budget. We're just kind of fast-forwarding some of these a little bit so we can effectively make the transition happen on 1 October. There's just a number of expenses that have to be paid in order for that to happen seamlessly. How that's funded in the future, again, vehicles and things like that and equipment are what the PSO is typically used. How much of that actually went to jail-specific items? I think there may be some vehicles at some point that that are getting retired, but I would probably venture to say not much. But we can certainly look into that and bring that back. Again, these are just one-time expenses. Again, and if you change your resolution, you would have to look at how your allocations are presented there.
And is this already the same amount already budgeted for the upcoming fiscal year?
This budget
Or is it
amendment
over?
is less than the one-time costs we've budgeted in FY '23. I just
Okay.
need to do this action now because I need the money in FY '22 to buy them before we actually take over the jail.
Okay.
All
So
right,
this is under-
so bring back to us the idea about adding, massaging the penny.
Changing the penny, the
Yeah.
resolution language?
Let's- And then
Absolutely.
let's go ahead and call the question on this one.
We have a motion and a second
Yep,
already.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that one passes. And C37?
Next one is me also. Again, Eric Breitenbach, Assistant County Administrator, Internal Services. C37 is to request the award of a contract for a countywide procurement and contract management software system. The agenda packet did not contain the agreement signed by the vendor at time of publication, and this item is being revised to now include the vendor signed contract agreement. I respectfully request approval of this item.
I'll take a motion.
So moved as revised.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you very much. C38.
Good morning, Commissioners. Madam Chair, Alex Parnes, Pasco County Surveyor. The item C38 is recording of a subdivision plat. It's being requested to be pulled and revised. There's a slight discrepancy between the legal description attached to the agreements and the joinder consent documents versus the legal descriptions attached to the hard copies. There's some recording information that is missing. This is for a temporary access easement in favor of Pasco County, so we request a pull and revise.
Move for approval as revised.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, you got it.
Thank you.
C47 is withdrawn. All right, then we will move on to the Rs. R62, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, can I just take it away?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Adam, there he is. Before I turn it over to Adam Thomas and our other guest, I've talked about the Telly Awards over the past years, but this year we wanted to put on the agenda to actually do a formal presentation so all the commissioners and our friends in the audience and at home could see what the Telly Awards are all about. So Mike Bishop's here and Adam Thomas and... That's right. Sorry. So the Telly Awards, I'll just go over the Telly Awards a little bit, and then you can talk about the video more. The Telly Awards honor excellent in video and television all across the world. And it's actually an international competition. So I'm happy to announce this year that the Florida Sports Coast team, along with the Pasco EDC, are recipients of a Gold Telly Award, as well as 3 additional Telly Awards, which Adam will explain to each and every one of you. A fun fact, I'll brag a little bit on Adam and the EDC team on this. In the gold category that they won, they actually finished ahead of a couple of companies you'll probably know, like Viacom, CBS, ahead of Warner Brothers, and one of the, in the international competition that they did, they actually finished ahead of a Spider-Man No Way Home movie promo, which is pretty big. So you think about how much money and energy and hundreds of people are working on this thing, and good old Pasco County brings home the gold. So with that, I'm going to let Adam take it away, and then you can show the video that won the gold and talk about the other awards as well.
Good morning, Madam Chair, fellow commissioners. Thank you so much, Commissioner Moore, for bringing this this prestigious award to this council. We are excited not only to win. I'm going to channel my inner LeBron James for a second. We didn't win 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Telly Awards for Pasco County for our live, work, and play right here. And this is a great example of cross collaborations between 2 marketing agencies that position Pasco County as a viable vacation destination and also a great destination and a great community and a great county to actually build business or recruit business to. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and tee up the video so you can actually see why we won these prestigious awards.
It's pretty funny too. It's good stuff.
Yes.
You see all of that? You know what that is? That's opportunity. You probably don't know who I am, and that's okay. You probably don't know a lot about Pasco County either. From country to a nature-rich coastline, Pasco County, also known as Experience Florida's Sports Coast, has a little bit of something for everybody. Let's get down to business, specifically your business. We are a right-to-work state with a pro-business government that offers low operating cost and no personal state income tax. Sounds pretty sweet, right?
13,500 feet. Time to jump.
That's our stop. Don't worry, it gets better. Sounds too good to be true? It's as true as the planes people flock here to see, given Skydive City is one of the top drop zones in the world. I mean, take a look around. What do you see? Possibility! That's right, Terry. Possibility, and lots of it. Pasco recently implemented a Ready Sites program that has assessed and evaluated over 2,000 acres of land to prepare property for industrial development. Each property is strategically located with the necessities to support your growing business. Let's say free-falling towards the earth isn't your cup of tea. Maybe a refreshing Arnold Palmer is something more your speed. Saddlebrook Resort is the premier spot for a luxurious getaway. They have over 90,000 square feet of meeting space, a spa, 43 tennis courts, even 2 full-size Arnold Palmer golf courses. There's more than enough space to network or strike deals while hitting the fairway. Now, I know you've seen them all, but have you seen them all like this? Shops at Wiregrass is Tampa Bay's premier open-air lifestyle shopping center with over 800,000 square feet of retail, restaurants, and entertainment. You can even bring your best friends. Pasco County houses a robust craft brewery scene, ideal for people who love to make and drink beer. Florida Ave is the perfect place to host an event or just to have a casual business meeting. This is one of the largest family-owned craft breweries in the state, offering 3 unique event spaces to choose from, perfect for networking events and meetings. The beer's pretty good too.
Hey, who let you in here?
Terry, do you know what Synergy is? Stop! I'll tell you. Owned by Florida Sports Coast, this facility came together with private and public partnerships, including a private land donation that this community project now sits on. This 98,000 square foot sports campus can also be transformed into an expansive meeting convention event space with two 34,000 square foot separate spaces. There's even an on-site residence inn by Marriott with a rooftop bar for an excellent view of the surrounding area. Pasco's award-winning Workforce Connect platform allows employers to find programs that produce talent that will thrive in their industries and explore resources that will help their business stand out to top candidates, as well as allow job seekers to discover and explore various career pathways in a diverse economy of fast-growing industries. Oh, Terry, I said top candidates. Pasco County has a long history of specialized production. From the early years of pioneering technological advancements in Florida's citrus industry to our revolutionary breakthroughs in advanced sensor-based manufacturing methods for global brands like Mettler Toledo and Touchpoint Medical, Pasco is positioned for long-term growth. With access to the second largest manufacturing workforce in Florida that is high-skilled, forward-thinking, and growing like crazy, Pasco is ready for the future. Terry, don't touch that! Florida's Sports Coast is the perfect destination for the active individual. Hit the trails by bike or foot and explore the hundreds of miles of paved and unpaved trails the destination has to offer. Oh, excuse me, Terry.
Oh.
Thank you.
Wait, that's my bike.
Wait. Pasco County is experiencing an unprecedented growth with over 19,000 acres of master plan developments in the works to create the ultimate live, work, and play communities. Speaking of live and work, Pasco is one of the top places in Florida to work from home.
No, wait! Wait!
Do you like an adventure? What about an adventure on the water? We are a coastal community with plenty of hidden gems just waiting to be explored. Pedal faster, Terry. With plenty of charming downtowns, there are many options for business, visitors, and residents alike. Being close to waterways lends itself to an improved quality of life with plenty of opportunities to adventure. Florida's Sports Coast has places to work, play, and everything in between. From the extreme to leisurely, we have the talent, space, and a desirable quality of life for you to start, move, or grow your business. So now that you've gotten just a glimpse of how we work, how we play, how we live, I only have one question for you. What are you waiting for? Cheers.
I would like to thank Diamond View, who is the production agency that helped us grow this this prestigious video and win these awards. Commissioner Moore actually identified some companies that we beat out on gold, but at the government level, we did win a silver for government relations, and we did beat out the city of Taipei, Taiwan, Metro Vancouver, and then Colorado Springs. So we're growing, and Mike, you want to say a few words?
No, just that we appreciate the partnership with Florida Sports Coast at the EDC. It's important with us to partner with tourism. As business is evolving, we continue to expand our partnership. So, Adam, thank you for allowing us to collaborate.
Absolutely. Excellent. Well, congratulations again. And Madam Chair, I mean, if we could, like to come down, we'll take a picture all together.
Yeah.
This is the gold. This was on my shelf at home. I'm not, it's not really. It's in the tourism office shelf, but, yeah, well, you can pass it around like the Stanley Cup, right? But can we? would you
Yeah,
like to
but
go down?
I'm going to show you something
Oh,
that,
okay.
that this happened, I can't remember how long ago, but it was when we started working on the billboard ordinance. So we also won the worst ad at the Addy Awards once, and it was for this. They closed the ceremony somewhere in the United States with this photo of Pasco County. It's a billboard on 41, and so we won. Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
Gosh, about 25 years ago.
We've come a long way then, haven't we?
Yeah. That was like the worst thing that they had seen, so we closed.
Come a long way.
Huh? Yeah, they just totally butchered that tree, so. But from this, we got a ban on billboards, so.
Well, from the
It's
worst
a
to the best.
sacrificial lamb. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly, good job. All
Madam
right,
Chair?
yeah.
Just before you get the picture, I just want to thank you guys for doing collaborative working together. Larry Pendleton used to be the head of the Florida Sports Foundation, where they take the license plate money and put money in that we got a lot of events from. And his favorite phrase was, the purpose of tourist development is not tourism, it's not heads and beds, it's economic development. And what you guys are doing together working here right now is phenomenal.
You know, can you speak to the games that are coming up for, you know, the
Senior games.
The senior games.
Florida Senior Games.
Yeah.
We did land the Florida Senior Games for the next 2 years, starting this year at the beginning of December for 2022, 2023, and 2024. We have up to 3,000 athletes 50 years and older that are going to be coming in, playing in over 22 sports across the entire Pasco County. We are extremely honored and proud, and we're going to come back to this council in next month and do a full presentation along with the Florida Sports Foundation.
Okay, and when does that take place? What time of the year?
It's the first week of December.
First week December.
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
3 years straight, too. So
Yeah.
it's locked in. Let's go down and take a
Yep.
picture, and we have a time starting at 11.
We'll hit it right on the nose.
Now we did, at the TDC, at the TDC meeting, we did a fun thing where we held it up, which was a fun picture, so. So if you don't have one, give a thumbs up. If you have one, hold it up and smile big, right? Hold it high, guys.
See the Fonz? Hey.
Thank you. All right, hold
Beautiful.
on, stay in
Oh, yeah.
position, the microphone's in it if I take it from there.
Like really hold it up, like, I'm a winner. There you go.
Chairwoman, if you hold it up again, I missed it. Can I fit it?
There you go.
Perfect, love the thumbs up too. There we go.
Beautiful.
Good.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Congrats, guys.
So Amskill's won an award from the Tampa Bay Business Journal.
Hey, Adam,
They
here.
have the awards at the Diamond View office. Very cool. The Diamond View space, have you been down there?
No, not yet.
Oh, it's neat.
Yeah, right. My best Tom Brady.
Okay, so I think we can
Andy.
start moving to that time certain at 11 and start reading the resolution.
Madam Chair, do you mind? Can I just go ahead before and invite Dr. Beers up?
Sure.
Dr. Beers there, and we have a lot of guests, so if we could bring the entire team from Pasco Hernando State College, everybody that came along, please come on up.
Resolution number 22-198, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, congratulating Pasco Hernando State College on their 50th anniversary and thanking PHSC for serving the community. Whereas Pasco Hernando State College was established in 1972 and celebrates 50 years of service this year, having provided numerous academic and career opportunities to its graduates, contributed an estimated $450 million to the local economy, and built stronger, better educated, economically sound, and more vibrant communities. And whereas Pasco Hernando State College provides quality, cost-effective higher education and workforce training that has led to over 57,000 graduates in the last 50 years, and whereas Pasco Hernando State College is an important economic driver for the region, employing over 500 people in full-time permanent jobs and 300 adjunct part-time faculty and staff, and whereas Pasco Hernando State College credentials transfer to partner universities and colleges, including the Associated in Arts degree that transfers to the state university system, allowing students to complete the first 2 years of a bachelor's degree locally. And whereas Pasco Hernando State College offers bachelor's degrees, including the Bachelor of Science in Nursing and Bachelor of Applied Science Supervision and Management with 5 concentrations, And whereas Pasco Hernando State College, in collaboration with Pasco and Hernando County Schools, provides high school students with the opportunity to earn college credits at no charge through dual education articulation agreements and early college programs. And whereas, in addition to educational pursuits, Pasco Hernando State College offers opportunities for student life with over 50 clubs and organizations and 7 intercollegiate athletic teams. And whereas the Phsc Foundation works with the community to raise funds to support students, academic programs, and employees of PHSC. In the 2021 academic year, PHSC provided $1.2 million in scholarships, and students received $35 million total in financial aid. And whereas throughout its history, Pasco Hernando State College has strengthened its ties to our community through partnerships. Examples include working with the state of Florida and Pasco County Schools to create the Instructional Performing Arts Center in Wesley Chapel, working with Pasco County Fire Rescue on PHSC's Fire Academy, and working with local businesses. And whereas Pasco Hernando State College strategically partners with local industry and manufacturers to provide career, technical, and workforce training in higher-paying, in-demand fields, and offers opportunities such as rapid credentialing, apprenticeship, and entrepreneurship programs. And whereas throughout its 50-year history in Pasco County, PHSC has given the residents of our community the opportunity to pursue higher education, continuing education, and training, thus improving our quality of life. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby congratulates Pasco Hernando State College on its 50th anniversary and thanks PHSC for its service to the community. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 24th day of August, 2022.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Well, welcome, Dr. Beard. What an honor. Boy, what a history. That photo was amazing.
There's
of
some
your
new photos.
You know, my father-in-law, he was on the school board, and I don't know what kind of council they put together, but back in the day, I guess it was in the 70s, he was the deciding vote on where your first campus would be. And he did pick the Dade City side. Lost a lot of friends from this side. He paid for that one personally, but
Madam Chair, can I have
yeah.
Dr. Beard introduce?
Absolutely.
Thank
Well,
you, thank you,
go
Madam Chair.
ahead,
So,
Commissioner
Dr.
Moore.
Beard or Mr. Minton, if you guys want to introduce the team. We have a lot of visitors today.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and to this board. Let me just first say thank you all for this great resolution. We stand on the shoulders of giants, our founding presidents, particularly Dr. Middleton Jones, the late Dr. Bob Judson, and most recent Dr. Katherine Johnson. We stand on their shoulders. We build this college to help change the trajectory of students and change their lives every day. Thank you all for acknowledging us, and thanks for being a great partner.
Yeah. And if you could introduce the team, if you would. We have a lot of visitors today.
Come right on.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm not the most important person here, but this is I'm Lucy Miller. I'm assistant to Dr. Beard.
Welcome.
John Mitten, Chair.
Hey, John.
Hi, Kara Kuzmic. I'm on the foundation board.
Hi, Kara. Good seeing you again.
Good morning, Charles Spinner, representing the foundation board.
Wonderful.
Monica Mills, and I'm also representing the foundation.
Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning. I'm Celise, and I'm student trustee.
Yeah, Celise is awesome, by the way. She's
Very cool.
she's incredible. I've seen her speak on numerous occasions, events. So good to see you, Celise.
I thought I saw her in one of the photos. I'm
Yeah.
Dennis
You did?
Lowell. I'm Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Retention Services on the East Campus.
Nice.
Good morning. I'm Lisa Richardson, Vice President of Advancement.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Natalie Eppo, and I am also the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs and Retention Services at the Porter campus.
Yeah, good to see you.
Very nice.
Good morning. I'm Sonia Thorne. I am the Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs.
Wonderful. A few more.
Last but not least, for
No,
sure.
there's one
right?
more.
Oh, there's somebody else back
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Davina Jones. I have the pleasure of serving as the provost for the Porter campus in Wesley Chapel, Florida, and special assistant to the president for diversity, equity, and inclusion.
And welcome, Dr. Jones. And Dr. Jones obviously took over for the great Dr. Farrell, as we know, but Dr. Jones, incredible. So again, we're happy to have you in the Wesley Chapel community. Thank you. Yes.
Good, and one more, or two more.
Good morning. I'm Ed Goolsby. I'm the provost of our East Campus in Dade City.
Hey, Ed. Good morning.
I'm Aaron Ellerman. I'm the Public Information Officer for PHSC.
Oh, okay.
3
Good
weeks.
morning.
Good.
Nice to meet you.
Commissioners, thank you for this wonderful recognition. For the past 5 decades, Pasco Hernando State College has provided that excellent education, workforce training, and been able to launch people into professional careers all over the world. And that's the desire, to be able to have that affordable tuition, that have that opportunity for anyone to be able to get that associate's or bachelor's or workforce training certificate is critical to Florida. And I appreciate y'all's award. Congratulations on that award that you just had.
Yeah.
Be able to attract people to Florida, to Pasco and Hernando County, because of the education opportunities that we have, as well as all the business opportunities, is awesome. So thank you for this recognition. Obviously, it takes a lot of people behind the scenes over the years to make this happen. We're just privileged to be a part of this 50th year celebration and to be able to, on their behalf, receive this. So thank you once again for your recognition today.
Thank you. We're so proud of our state college.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
You guys are amazing. You know, you really are. I mean, I attended what is now Polk State College for my first 2 years. And, you know, it gives so many people, students, the ability, as you mentioned before, to afford to go to college and to start out. My son is a junior in high school. He is now dual enrolled, which is incredible, right? My daughter was dual enrolled at Pasco Hernando State College and is continuing to finish her degree there now herself. But you guys are pillars of the community. You've done so much, and you continue to do so much and give back. So we're so grateful to each and every one of you and everybody that's volunteers, you know, on the foundation board and the trustees. I mean, it's important, it takes a village, right? And you guys are a big village and a growing village that does so much. So congratulations on 50 years. And let me see, how old am I now? Maybe I can see the next 50 years. But you know,
Madam Chair.
And Madam Chair,
that would be great.
I have one item to give to you, and that is a frame with somewhat says 50 reasons to love PHSC. And we want to present this to Chair Starkey and this board. And before we do that, I did notice my picture from 2019 on your video board there, and I look just as good today. So.
You haven't aged a minute. That's awesome.
I've got a lot of
Thank
copies.
you.
We're going to come down and take a picture.
Madam
in a
Chair.
second.
Commissioner Fitzpatrick had something to say.
Go ahead.
Oh, how fun.
I would like to say thank you. I was dual enrolled in PHSC when I was attending Ridgewood High School. I was also the CARES coordinator at PHSC. I volunteered for CARES, and then I became the CARES coordinator and was very involved with, well, I don't know what title his, Bob Baden now. So it was an honor to work with him then and continue to see him now. It was amazing. I got to do videos and commercials and be on billboards for PHSC. So I would like to say congratulations for the 50 years and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. All right, let's take a photo. Should we stay up here or should we go down there?
Some of us should stay up here.
It's your call.
Yeah. Commissioner Moore, you go ahead and go down and we'll stand up behind because there's a lot of people. We want everyone to get in the photo, so. Yeah.
Okay, here's a frame that we're going to take a picture with, and I do have probably enough for everybody to take another 9 copies. Yes, signed, and if you would do as you please. Sure. Yes. Thank you. Good to see you. All right.
Commissioner, appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
So right here first, please. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wait till we look up. You're so fast on the trigger, man.
What you have an aid for, Commissioner.
All right, one more. Perfect.
All right, you're.
It's good to have a tall guy. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, wait. I'm gonna hold up the 50 reasons. Yeah, let's give it up there in the front.
Okay. All right, stand by.
That's when I was reading it. Give me a phone.
All right, everybody turn back.
We're back over here now. You just took a picture of you taking a picture.
Perfect.
We good?
We're good.
All right.
All right, good.
All right, we'll take that
Thank
back.
you. Appreciate it.
Thank
you.
Hey,
Dr.
John,
Beard.
good to see you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Here's one of my scalloping buddies.
Dr. Beard.
I can see it.
How you doing?
We had a great time
Not my
Friday.
son.
I know you're the real deal.
I'm the real.
Good to see you.
Good seeing you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yep. Good seeing you. Hey, hey.
Thank you.
I'll have a glass of wine soon.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Hey, Lisa, how are you?
How are you? Yeah, thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
Just as an aside, I had the pleasure of actually being present at the groundbreaking for the first campus in Dade City 50 years ago, so it's just interesting to have watched.
Do you remember when it was in that little building?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, the little temporary building downtown, yeah.
Okay, so,
Trying to think where.
Major Jenkins.
is that R63?
That is, yes, 64. 63 is up next.
Oh, Madam Chair, do you want to do 64 so she can go?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do 64. All right, we're going to take up 64.
4.
Yes. And then we'll go to 63.
I'm 63.
No, you're doing she's doing 64 first.
We're going to do 64, because someone's been waiting a long time. Thank you.
Family's here.
Well, good morning. Item R64 is the confirmation for Stacy Jenkins to be our Chief Correctional Officer. I can tell you that through this jail transition, it's been a lot of hard work, both on the Pasco Sheriff's Office side, our side, but Stacy in particular has been a phenomenal partner through all of this and helping us move through this. And you know, she comes to us with over 31 years of correctional officer law enforcement experience, holds a Master's of Science in Criminal Justice from St. Leo, and again, she is just an incredibly experienced person that can really, I think, will do a fantastic job in the role as Chief Correctional Officer here for us at Pasco County, effective 1 October. So we are asking that you confirm her in that role.
Move for approval.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're really glad that you stayed with us, and we're looking forward to your leadership over there. You want to say anything to the board? I don't recognize you out of your uniform.
And she lives in District 1, so.
So, again, I just appreciate the opportunity to continue to work with the men and women over there in the jail. I appreciate your confidence in me, and I really look forward to the opportunities that will be presented in the future. So thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Well,
Welcome, Major.
congratulations.
Welcome, Major. We appreciate it.
All right, 63.
Good morning, Commissioners. Juanita Bernal, Senior Project Manager in Public Works. I am here to present the introduction of an amendment to the County Code of Ordinances establishing requirements for the proper disposal of pet waste.
Sorry.
So, next slide, please. So DEP has identified specific water bodies in our jurisdiction that are impaired because we have excess nutrients or bacteria under the Florida Impaired Water Rule. Based on this, DEP has mandated total maximum daily loads in some of those waterways. And they have adopted basic management action plans, which are actually restoration plans that we have to commit with. And this is basically in the watersheds of the Spring Coast and the Tampa Bay. This ordinance that I'm bringing today, it's part of the strategies that Pasco County is implementing for the required pollutant load reductions and the bacteria into these surface waters, the springs, and the Gulf of Mexico, and of course Tampa Bay too. Next slide, please. So basically what we are asking you to approve today is creating a new code, a new amendment to the Code of Ordinance. This will be creating a new section, and it's going to be Chapter 90-2 of the ordinance. And basically, it will establish requirements for the proper disposal of pet waste. One of the essential requirements of this new section is that basically the pet owners and the pet keepers are required to immediately pick up after their pet waste. The public hearing has been established to be September 20 of 2022 at 1:30 p.m.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this one?
No.
All right, do we take action on this, or is this just information?
Yeah, I think we're to,
I guess you have.
this is your, this is your
Second.
introduction.
So we do
You
take,
got a motion and a second?
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, there you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, I think we're on to commissioner items.
Oh, wow,
Is
there
that
you go.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got now?
Commissioner Oakley.
Oh,
It's on you, buddy.
geez. Well, a lot's been going on. Of course, all of us have been aware of all of our elections and all. I didn't have a lot going on personally in different areas, but been out there watching our citizens search for new leaders and leaders to stay in our community, and glad that portion of our primary and all is over and we move forward. So other than that, that's all I have today.
All right, Commissioner Moore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll be pretty quick myself, too. Later this evening, the Port Richey City Council, they're going to be voting on removing the Sand Pebble neighborhood from the CRA boundary. Same people, sitting on the CRA board are on their council, so they voted unanimously to remove it on July 26th. So since I only have a couple of months left here, I did just want to state again, this is something I'm very proud of, that we were able to work with the cities and get this accomplished, because for a lot of years, it wasn't. So again, commend their council, commend their city manager, and commend this board and our team, obviously, our county team as well, to working through this, because, we had a lot of issues with the CRAs, but now it's coming to fruition, and, realize that you can't have, giant mansions in a gated neighborhood with a CRA anymore. So thank you again for everybody that's been supportive of that. It just obviously works out better for all the citizens, not only the city, but the citizens of Pasco County. I do have one more video for you I'm going to show today, if we got that queued up. We had a great scallop season. Anybody else go scalloping this year? Yes.
Kira, one of the group there, PHSC, was on our boat Friday.
Well, and if you
It
went
was
out
a charity.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. So if you went out of Pasco County this year and went scalloping, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I went.
They moved, so it doesn't matter.
I was in a very good spot. I'll tell you what, and for one, we didn't even take what we could. We want to leave some for others, but we could have taken our limit, no problem, within, a couple hours or less, probably less than that. But it was the best I've ever seen it. And when I'm hearing from people, it's been better in Pasco County. It was better in Pasco County than it was in Hernando, in Citrus.
Citrus and all did not have that good of a season.
And they were big scallops too. So, our tourism team once again has been doing a great job as Florida Sports Coast promoting this. So check this out. This is actually a video from Austin, Texas. This is actually a news story in Austin, Texas. And look where they're at.
From exploring to strolling, Florida's Sports Coast has plenty of outdoor fun. Pam LeBlanc with Austin Travels joins us with a rundown of things to do in that particular part of the Sunshine State. Good morning, Pam. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Florida is near and dear to my heart. I lived there for a number of years, so I do adore that state. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit just in terms of geography. Can you put it on the map for our viewers who may have never heard of the Sports Coast in Florida?
Sure. I was in a place called Pasco County, and so I flew into Tampa Bay, and I drove about 45 minutes north of Tampa Bay along the west coast. So I home based in a place called Port Richey, and that gives really easy access to the coast, and there's a bunch of different communities all along the shoreline there.
So the biggest... No, go ahead. I'm just thinking the biggest city is Tampa for a reference point for our viewers.
Exactly, and I was north of Tampa in Port Richey. And the main thing that I went there to do was to go scalloping. And I don't know if when you were in Florida you ever did this, but this is like an Easter egg hunt on the water. I went out on a boat, a captain took me and several other passengers out. It was maybe a 5 or 10 minute boat ride offshore, and then we put on masks, fins, and snorkels, and we swam around in the water alongside the boat, and we looked for scallops. And so it didn't take long. It took about an hour, and between 3 of us, we caught enough scallops to have dinner that night. And there's a very short scalloping season in Pasco County. The season varies depending on what part of Florida you're in, but in Pasco County, it's a 10-day season in July. But there are other areas it's a little bit different. So we went out, we caught our scallops, and then we cooked them up for dinner that night, and it was amazing. It was so much fun to do, and it was also really delicious to eat.
Very similar to if you were on a boat fishing.
Exactly, only easier, I think. You don't have to fight the fish with a rod and a reel. You don't have to fight the scallops. So you just pick them up off the ground and tuck them in a little mesh bag. But I did more than the scalloping while I was there. There's a lot of outdoorsy activities you can do in Pasco County. I went hiking. I went to a park called Werner Boyce Salt Springs. You can kayak there. You can canoe. There are different places you can fish. I also went to a state park called Anclote Key, and this is a park that you take a boat ride to get there, and then you can anchor off the shoreline and then go hiking along the coast and look for seashells. There were tons of shells. And one other thing that I did that was really super cool while I was in Florida is I went to the world famous Weeki Wachee Springs.
Because they're going to talk about another county and we don't need to talk about it. But again, how awesome is that, promoting Pasco County? That's Austin, Texas, and if anybody's been to Austin, Texas, Austin's a pretty big city, lots of people, so, you know, hopefully it'll encourage.
We have a direct flight from Tampa to Austin.
Yeah, I took one, yep.
Yeah.
Not too long, well, it's been a couple years ago. But it's great that we're getting this free promotions. I mean, you're thinking about what it's worth in ad buys for a 5-minute segment on a very large market, in a very large market in Texas. So again, congratulations, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Okay, the last 2 weeks have been extremely busy, but I did go and with staff and the team to visit Pinellas Hope, and I know we've been talking about the different homeless population and the different outcomes that we could bring to different options that we could bring to Pasco County. So we've visited Pinellas Hope and Hillsborough Homes. They do have about 8 by 8 foot rooms that the homeless could live in, depending on where they are. And if they are in that specific area, they can work on getting their Social Security card, their ID, and they also have one of the units for resources such as medical units and things like that. So I think it's really important that they're able to get housing. We, especially considering our homeless population has increased 400% since last year. It's really important. There are many citizens that would like the help, and then of course there's others. Oh, and I didn't bring the pictures. So last Friday, I know everyone was always asking about Regions Bank, and everyone and staff have been doing an amazing job keeping it cleaned up. I drove by on Friday and spoke to one of the homeless gentlemen and another gentleman that was just passing by on a bike. I had gotten some garbage bags, and they all pitched in. So I think it's really important that if we get out and involved in the community And if they're willing to step up and help, and we just have to provide garbage bags to them, then spend an hour, go out, and let them help us clean up the areas. So I think that was really important. Let's talk about the flooding discounts that was brought up in our last board meeting. Now, it came to my attention that if you live in the unincorporated area, you get a 20% discount as of now. But when we were discussing with staff and they were here that day, certain cities and municipalities within Pasco County, some don't get any percentage discount on their flood insurance. Some get 0, some get 5%. So I think it's really important that I was looking forward to working with the municipalities in my area to help them so they can update their code so they as well, and the citizens in those areas can have a 20% discount on their flood insurance because they don't. So,
Yeah, I'm not clear about what you're saying because it's the whole county.
No,
It's countywide, right?
the building department, if they have a flood protection, they're doing their own building permits, in most cases. And so they get their own CRS rating if they're allowing a lesser standard than the county. Because your ordinances only apply to the unincorporated area.
Oh, okay, so this is the municipalities.
Yeah,
What
so
she's mentioning is that some of the cities don't get the CRS discount that we get.
Oh, interesting.
They don't have the same rating.
So the unincorporated is 20%, and a municipality is 0, and another one is 5%.
That's on them.
And I'm not. There still are citizens that live in our jurisdiction, so live in our county. So I would like to see the discount be applied to them as well. So I will continue to work on that and see how much I can get done. Thank you.
Commissioner Mariano.
Thank you. I'll just touch on quickly the scalloping season. I think we tried this year to get an extension of the time. It didn't work, but I think the great results that I've heard from other folks that are out there too, it's time that we get the full allotment that Citrus and Hernando get. So I'd like to see us develop something in our agendas with those new state representatives coming up to make that a priority for them to actually go fight with us early rather than just waiting it to get shut down by a bureaucrat from the state. As far as the homeless population in Pasco, if it's an increase of 400%, I wonder what's causing it. I will tell you that when we cleaned out the Leisure Beach area, which, by the way, our team working with the Sheriff's Office did a great job clearing it out. Alex, thank you guys. We were out there just the other day. There's been all the no trespassing signs were up. They were out there to clean out all the stuff, and all the encampment stuff was like yanked out of there. And down the street, that's been cleared up quite a bit as well. We've still got a lot of work to do on it. In that area, there was some people that were bussed in or Ubered in for other areas. So I really want to go take a look at where these people are coming from, because it's not just coincidental. The economy's strong, jobs are everywhere. We can go to a restaurant and see all the empty tables because people aren't working. There's opportunities that are out there. We've got a piece of property at Little Road, south of 52 by the Point Distillery. And where the water flows into there, which is now an impaired water body, there's a homeless encampment that was there. Looks like it's defunct at this point, but it's our property. It's about 80 acres that's in there. So I want to see the maintenance get approved in that area, which I think we're looking at, but we've got to go in there and clean out all the trash that's in there that's getting into the waterway, which is not helping the water quality. I want to compliment Branford and the team with the stormwater project in Sea Pines. It was a difficult situation because a lot of anxiety about what was going to happen out there, but I will say between the associations that's out there, and I think and I'll incorporate with Rainbow Palms that was here today, the project we have out there is going to go great. We've got the easements, all the verbally agreed to terms that we needed to go make that project happen. And it's going to take 300 homes that are consistently been flooding for all my 18 years. We've now got a path forward to go, and I think it's going to be phenomenal. And I'm just, Branford, what your team did, I mean, Joe Amo was phenomenal in saying this is what we need. Donald Carey was good about working out details. We had a meeting with Swiftmud that actually ran on a Tuesday night from 5:30 to like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and we talked about it, and 2 days later we get a letter back saying these are the terms, everything's agreed to pretty much. So Branford, you guys were phenomenal with that. And today at item C43, Holiday Hills. It's a little development across from Gulfview Mall. Years ago, that would flood out, even when the waters were down in the river going out to the Gulf of Mexico, were like 6 or 7 feet below. The water couldn't get that to the canal. Since we put a pump in 7 years ago, they haven't flooded out since. Staff's put a plan together, we've engineered it, and looking very closely at the plan, those folks out there are gonna use the existing pipe we put in the ground 7 years ago. There's gonna be a double pump lift station set up out there so that even if one fails, the other can go. And that'll be a project Branford will be looking to go forward. I'd like to time this project as soon as that's done with the stormwater improvement, that we get the road paving ready to come. We haven't done it because we didn't want to do it until the stormwater was fixed. Now that we've got the solution, we know the timing. I want to make sure as we time this up, and we want to make sure get this to the contractor quick so the costs don't go up. And then time it so that as soon as they're going to be done, we can have the paving crew ready to come in and fix that neighborhood up once and for all, which I think would be phenomenal. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. The administrator?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple items real quick. Just a reminder that our Pasco Citizens Academy will be starting up on September 21st. It's a great program. We still have openings. It's open to team members. It's open to members of the public, and it's a great way to learn about local government. And also our Two Good Souls Shoes and Sock Drive is kicking off. That's a good intergovernmental one that we work out with the clerk and the school board to provide shoes and socks for students. So just,
Do we have the boxes?
I think they're coming up. I don't know, Kathy? Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We need to get ours decorated. Is it there in our
By the
lobby?
door, I actually turned it so they can see it coming in the lobby.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
That's
I
it?
think I stole some shoes out of it. We're good.
Okay. Okay, County Attorney?
I have one that I'm going to raise that, I'm just going to do it. So you have Resolution 11-300, which is how you allow your property to be used for campaigning. One of the issues that we had over the primaries was several candidates had new technology that had not been really brought to anybody's attention, I don't think. These pop-up tents to shade the people who are waving signs and being at the polling locations, but having the ad of their campaign on it. And so facilities, under the resolution, deemed them to be signage that was exceeding the amount of signage that.
Oh, 'cause you're allowed to have
You
them.
have you had limited signs to be smaller than the 8x4 signs that people were using post hole diggers and putting in the parking lot back when we adopted this in 2011. So the question for the board is, since that hasn't really been used in the past, does the board want to revise the resolution to allow for that? Or do you want to just leave it the way it is?
I think since it's not listed in the resolution, if your car is advertised, and a car is a car, a vehicle is a vehicle, if you have a tent is a tent, its primary sole purpose is a tent. In Resolution 11-300, it is not listed anywhere in there about a tent. A tent's primary purpose is to shade your people that are there and to keep them out of the rain.
With all due respect to the commissioner, if that's what the board wishes to do, then I would request that you amend the resolution to say that.
I never really thought about it.
I think a tent is
I
a
get
tent,
sunburned
whether
every
it's the
time I'm
same.
Well, the issue with the tent, issue is if you put advertising on the tent to get around the limitations that we've set for the signs. You know, hey, I think I was the first one to do it. So when we were, there was a time where you could get a big sign and put it in the ground, you know, and it was like 2 signs, the size of 2 snipe signs, and I did that in one of my elections. And then, and so a lot of people started doing bigger signs around, you know, around the polling sites, and so the board went to, they limited the size of those signs, and
2-yard signs.
so, yeah, so, you know, that's an interesting question, because we have the cars and we have the tents. So
I don't
I
think there was
guess,
an issue with the cars.
I don't know
with the
if we
tent.
want to
Yeah,
decide that now, but
we've never taken a position that vehicles that are wrapped or vehicles that have signage on them.
well, then
maybe
how's that
are-
any different?
Then a tent.
Because
exactly.
it is capable of moving and it's in a parking space, and the difference is that they're attaching these canopies to the ground. Potentially, they are blocking visibility triangles. You know,
Yeah, then
it
you could
raises-
have-
it
you could have
raises
tents all over the
a whole
place.
lot of other.
There are tents already, but they don't have signage on them. So what is the difference if the tent has signage or no signage? So really, it's not whether you can have a tent or not, unless you wanted to say you can't have a tent at all. But in the Florida heat, we don't want anyone to get cancer.
Madam Chair, if I could, Eric Breitenbach, Assistant County Administrator. The current resolution does address vehicles, but it requires the candidate to be on the premises if a vehicle is there that is wrapped. And
Oh,
so
interesting. Okay.
I just wanted to add that for clarification.
I've never wrapped
But
anybody.
I do have 11,300. Todd, were you able to send it in? Do you have it? You can pull it up and the commissioners, everyone can see the
Yeah.
resolution.
Where did, Madam Chair, and this came up, Mr. Steinschneider, like what, through the supervisor elections office or something?
It's
It
not
came-
supervisor election.
It came up because both District 4 candidates had tents at various locations.
Oh, okay.
With advertising on them?
Yeah.
Mine did. I think he turned around.
Okay.
Well, your opponent's was here in this parking lot, and yours was in
I'm inclined to say
some
no
other place.
advertising on the tents, personally.
Tents are expensive, and if people have to buy a tent, they should be able to have whatever they want on their
That's
tent.
my only personal opinion. I'm inclined to stick with what we have with the yard signs. But
Well, it wasn't
I-
an issue of the
excuse me,
amount of tent.
What, Commissioner Oakley?
I thought it was always just 2 yard signs, all you could have up within a certain distance of the polling area.
Yeah, it is.
And that's all you'd have, so I don't see why you'd have a tent
with another ad.
Another ad or whatever, so we need to just stick to the signs.
Commissioner Moore?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm indecisive. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of like a care less either way, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm just being honest.
I would never
I've never
do it.
thought about it before.
I know.
It
It's kind of
wasn't-
clever.
They said it wasn't the
I've never given any
amount.
thought.
They said it wasn't the amount of the signage on the tent, it was the fact that the tent was higher than 3 feet,
Was what?
was taller than 3 feet.
Okay, so.
So if I guess if tent was on the ground and my tent wasn't higher than 3 feet, it wouldn't have been an issue.
All right, so Commissioner Mariano?
I'm comfortable with what we put in years ago, if people just follow to that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, okay, so I think that's three.
Can they pull it up
three
on the-
commissioners who don't want to add any more advertising ability at a campaign site.
Can you pull up the resolution?
I'm fine with that. I mean,
Yeah.
I never thought
You don't
about it
need
before.
any more than that, that's enough.
I never thought of that.
Okay,
It's not even addressed in the resolution, though.
yeah, we just addressed it.
I've never seen it in person before. I've only been,
I've not
only
seen
gone to
that either.
one or two polling sites, so I've never seen anybody do it.
I've not noticed it, but, okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you for bringing it to our attention. Clark?
Nothing at this time, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, I have a few things. Mr. Carballo, were you able to show that location site that okay, you didn't see it. All right, so while I'm going to the next thing, if you guys could put up the location of the property we bought at the last meeting. And I think this goes to your scallop suggestion, Jack. And yeah, we went out about 5 times scalloping, and definitely the most successful time was in Pasco County. This last Friday, we had donated a scallop expedition for the Pasco Education Foundation, and the winning bidder chose Friday to go out. So we took a group, Kira, one of the girls here earlier, was on our boat. We got enough to have an appetizer.
That was what, Hernando?
We went up to Hernando, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we went to like 6 or
We were
7
wondering
places.
if you were,
It's the
doing that
worst.
every season.
No, we didn't go to Pasco. I would say it's the worst scalloping I've ever had in Hernando and Citrus. But I understand that scalloping is cyclical, and every once in a while, it just kind of resets. And so we're sure it'll come back, but it does beg.
They like, the scallops like us better, Chair.
Yeah.
The scallops like Pasco County better.
So it does beg the question, when can we expand our season? And part of the reason why we haven't been able to expand our season is our lack of facilities for boat ramps. So I just wanted to draw your attention to the purchase we made last board meeting. We closed on it. This property on the Cody River, if you have your bearings, that's Catches with the red roof and Whiskey River with the blue roof. And we purchased this land and plan to open a boat launch facility. Jack, I think it's in your district. But we kept our mouth quiet on this because we didn't want to have someone come in and, take the property from us. And the city of Newport Richey and Port Richey are all around in this area. It's interesting. I believe that is in Newport Richey boundaries, and they hope that one day this whole corner area will be something different than what you see here. I don't think I captured all of the purchase because down the street to the south, we also bought a little triangle of land that faces on 19 because we didn't have enough space for boat storage. So that could be it right there, but I can't tell from my photo. But the city of Newport Richey is very excited that we made this purchase and want to work with us on a master plan for this area. But we anticipate having more boater access in the future. We are also appraising another piece of land that I cannot say where that is either, but it has another boat launch on it, and so we may be adding that one as well. And then, of course, we have the new Anclote River Park that is being redesigned, and we didn't talk about it last week. We had that contract for the restaurant being approved at the last board meeting. But the boat ramps at Anclote River Park will be improved. The movement of traffic will be improved. There'll be festival spaces, improved beach area, and of course, I'm very much looking forward to that restaurant on the water. I'll be able to go there by my boat and enjoy the sunset, and I think it's going to be wonderful. And I sure hope I can get a margarita or a pina colada there. So I'm sure we're going to do something with making it a wet zone. Okay, so wanted to share that, and maybe with these updates, we can get our scallop season elongated.
Thank you.
I want to thank all the staff that came out for our town hall 2 nights ago. We usually have that town hall at Metropolitan Ministries, but they are using that big church facility for storage right now, so we had to move it to the Elfers Community Center, which I think affected our attendance. But we had a wonderful 2.5 hours, and I'm happy to share that code enforcement shared that they are now out on the weekends, and they've shifted their hours a little bit. I think it's 11 to 8. Is that what I heard? Which is great because if they stopped at 5 before, people weren't home to receive the citation, and now they can talk with our constituents and explain what the issues are. So I think those are some great changes. Let's see. Do I have some other photos there that we sent in? Trying to remember what they were of. Oh, yeah. So my next community cleanup is September 10th. Actually, I'm not sure if we have a location yet where we're going to hold the dumpsters. I heard that we may be going just up and down the streets and picking them up, unless something has changed. That was the news I got 2 nights ago, but now I see some addresses are on here. But we'll be out there on September 10th. Do you have some photos from, no other photos? Well, then I'll save that one for another meeting. And I think that's it for me.
Do you want to mention this or hand it out?
Oh, yeah, so these are the flyers that we made a little while ago, and I wanted to remind you, I handed one out to a guy who was walking right down the middle of 19 yesterday. I was heading to a political event, and so what time was it? Like 6:45. Oh, there's the photo I wanted you to see. And I mean, in moving traffic, this guy was walking between the two lanes to the left heading south. So, and we lost one of our regular panhandlers in the Holiday area a couple weeks ago. A gentleman who had one leg was in a wheelchair. He stole a hot dog, apparently, and the store folks were chasing after him, and he wheeled out into the traffic of 19 and was killed. So, you know, this is such a difficult subject, but I'm hoping that these flyers can help some of the people who want help. So this photo is very interesting. It's kind of hard to see it in here. Maybe I'll email it to you. So this is Reinhardt's, I think, Seep or Sipe. He is the CEO of Miopta in my district in Trinity. They make glass for periscopes and telescopes and tanks and things. And he is in Gemmersheim at a Rotary meeting with the Rotary in Gemmersheim, and they're exchanging their Rotary flags, Jack, and they are going to start doing exchanges. So, and is Reinhardt in your Rotary? Yes. Yeah, so this is the New Port Richey Rotary and the Rotary of Gemmersheim. So I'm so excited. We're going to meet and talk about all the different things we can do to keep that relationship going. So very exciting, and I hope that we get to welcome some of their Rotary members here. Okay, so that's it for me. I think we will adjourn, and I'll see you at 1:25 because we're going to be doing those votes on the MPO. Okay? Okay? All right.